Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show, the Spiritual Sisters Podcast. You know who it is. Hey.
Hi, Gabrielle here. She is Gabrielle, not Gabby today, but it should be Gabby because we have one of our favorites on, our good friend, Yvette. How are you,
We gotta stop
friend?
saying that because they're gonna start fighting. They're gonna be like, well, I thought I was your favorite. No, I thought I was your favorite. And some of our friends are scrappy, and she is no exception.
She's no exception.
She's probably like the scrappiest.
Love her. I keep track.
Hi, friend.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, ladies. Hello. Buenas tardes.
Oh, we're so excited to have you.
Happy to have you here. So, we were talking before this, the podcast before the podcast, and we were like, okay, is everything good with sound? And how's everything going? And we've had to reschedule a few people. And you were one of the people that we were like, no, she's a flight risk, just like Maria. And we have her committed now, and we're not giving her an out. And so come hell or high water, we're doing it. And that's what we're doing now. So
here we are.
You guys were relentless. I was like, oh God, okay.
It's been in the works for a minute.
Gabby.
I mean, yeah, I think I feel when it comes to like the organization coordination of like getting everyone together, I would say it's me, but we also know just like, it's just a known thing for like me and Nicole in the summertime, our schedules, it looks open right now, but it's not going to be for much longer. And then we also know with you and the work that you do, you're going to be very busy in the summer too. So we're like, yeah. And Nicole's like, no, Gabby, like we have to do this today. So this is why.
I had a last minute emergency PTA meeting before this. Also, I'm like, all right, guys, you got me for 30 minutes and then I got to go. Like 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. I'm done.
I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all.
Shout out to both of you guys for being PTA Mothers of the Year because that's a job on its own.
It is.
I'm retired.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Okay. So
do you want to ask the questions, Gabs?
Oh, I can do like the first two, even though I remember all of them.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll ask my favorite ones. Yvette, what are your big three in astrology?
I am a Libra sun, a Gemini moon, and a Virgo rising.
She's got really fun BDE feminine energy.
You can tell when it's my Virgo, and you can tell when it's my Libra.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That mouth is quick, and it'll respectfully stab you if you want to fuck around and find out.
I feel like I'm really surprised by the
very
Libra.
lovingly.
Really? You're surprised by it?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like you're more fire and like, I don't know, I would have expected Aries or Sagittarius maybe.
She has
maybe not Aries because I don't really vibe with Aries. Maybe Sagittarius.
She has a lot of fire in her chart, so it's not a coincidence you feel that, Nicole. Yeah, it's very dominant. Okay. Human design, what is your makeup?
I'm a generator. I'm a generator 2-4.
The easy breeze. No, it's not the easy breezy genius. That's a 2-5, right? Oh,
yeah.
It is?
It's the hermit. No. It's the hermit opportunist.
Yeah. Okay. And then, are you a sacral, emotional? What's your authority type? Do you remember?
Sacral. Very much a sacral.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's dominant too.
If you could serve anybody your favorite offering, your favorite work that you do, and we'll get into what you do, who would you want to work with, dead or alive? Anybody?
Obviously, my Johnny Depp. That's
Johnny Depp,
Daddy.
Johnny Depp. He's my client. He's my client of my dreams. That's my goal.
Okay, but
my hottie.
Johnny Depp has really bad teeth.
Does he?
Yeah.
Like it's gross.
She goes to Google.
Really?
Look it up. Someone look it up right now.
I'm looking it up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
They're
never
they're
looked
like
at that
rotted. They're like rotted. They're like really bad. So anyway, but Johnny Depp,
Jack Sparrow. He has Jack Sparrow teeth for reals.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
Oh, okay.
Did you see it, Gabs?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. She's
Sorry
not
to
wrong.
ruin the fantasy. He doesn't have teeth like my Dwayne.
Daddy Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, but Johnny Depp, that's a good answer. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Would
sorry.
you want him in character? Would you want him as Jack Sparrow? Would you want him as Edward Scissorhands? Would you want him as... Who would you want him as?
As him. But I think I would want him as in Benny and June, personality-wise. And I just would want him as him. That's sexy. Or no, maybe in his mafia character. There's so many I can't pick. I mean, I just don't want him as Jack Sparrow, you know?
Okay. Jack Sparrow. Okay, so not Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp. Mm-hmm. Okay. If shoot, I forgot the questions too.
The podcast. Which are your favorite?
Oh yeah,
podcasts?
what are some of your favorite podcasts right now?
Oh my God! Of course, you ladies.
Aww, we love that answer.
That's the only reason we asked this question.
I love listening to Bruja Biz.
Oh,
yeah, Bruja Biz, and I want Nikki Novo, of course, because I could never have enough of her wisdom. And I think those are my three favorite spiritual wise. Manifestation Babe is also a really good one for me.
Yeah, and she's so good. Love her.
She's so good.
Love her. When did you start listening to her? How long have you been a fan?
I think it's probably been about a year, 8 months.
Kind of probably when I found
Vanessa.
her.
I know who the Biz Bruja is. Okay, cool.
Isn't she beautiful? And she's so great too.
She's doing good work.
Final question. If you could go to any concert of any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
It would be Prince or David Bowie.
Okay.
Oh, I'd go to Prince with you.
David Bowie passed before I got to see him again. And Prince, I've always wanted to see, but my parents were really strict, so they were never going to let me go see Prince, right? But right now, alive, I really want to go see the Rolling Stones.
I really want to see it. I don't know how much longer they're going to be alive, so you better jump on that.
Exactly, so I need to get on it.
I love those questions.
Yeah. Okay, so Yvette, what do you do? What?
She's not even going to share how we met. We love the how we met stories.
How did you meet?
You don't know how we met, Nicole?
Oh, maybe. Okay, go ahead.
Friend, do you want to share how we met?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, back in the day, guys, before the world shut down in 2020, but it was pretty much, it was the end of 2019. I started training for a full marathon, the LA Marathon, which happens in the spring. And I had to go get body work done. And so I went to my local chiropractic office. And after a couple sessions, the doctor there, he was like, you should really consider going to get a massage. She's fantastic. And that's what I did. So ever since then, it's kind of like one of those things where you become friends with your clients. And that was definitely me with Yvette. And after some time, I was going pretty consistently. I was like, hey, I'm going to do this program. Come hither. Let's do it. And you actually decided I don't know how you felt about it at first, but I remember the text message that you had sent me on WhatsApp and you're like, I'm doing it. I'm ready. Because at that point I was getting into astrology and I had remember seeing your chart and I was like, oh, she's about to go through it for like a good while. And I remember you were saying, because you're a curandera, that your elders had told you if you didn't get on doing the work at that point in your life, you were going to feel it very intensely. And I feel like you've passed that test because you've done the work and you've been doing the work. And it's so cool to learn a lot about what you do, which is curanderismo. So we would love to hear about that. And just like OG love story over here. And now we're all friends.
I want to add, though, that when Gabby started coming to me, she was starting her journey. Yeah. Even before signing up for the Nikki's program. And she would come in and she'd go, what do you see? What do you read?
Yep.
she's like, okay, tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'd get on the table, and that would be her. Like, what do you see? Every time she came in, I'm like, and I'm like, all right.
I didn't know that you felt reluctant, though. I didn't. I was like, oh, that makes kind of sense now thinking back to it, because you were kind of in the closet about it for a minute.
Yeah. I've been undercover for a long time. Yeah,
she's coming out, guys.
I'm coming out. I'm like literally being pushed out.
Yeah. Well, it's, I think what's so cool about what you do, and that's where we're going to obviously pivot and go to, but it's like the body says so much about what you're experiencing spiritually and emotionally and mentally as well. And that's like the part where I get so excited about. So Yvette, please tell us a little bit more about your work as a curandera and what exactly curanderismo is.
Such a mouthful.
Curanderismo is somebody that uses traditional, cultural, indigenous ways of healing. Okay, traditionally there's four types of curanderas. There is the partera, which is the midwife. There's the yerbera, which is the herbalist. There is the spiritualista, which is the spiritual, works with your spirit. Okay. Oh. And so she's the one that looks into what's going on deeper than that, deeper than the out here. And the other one is the mental.
Oh, so interesting. I didn't know any of that. I'm so fascinated.
Yes.
Oh, no, so I have to share that Nicole was like, I don't know what we're going to talk about with Yvette in terms of like, we knew it was going to be this topic, but she's like, I am so excited to hear the crazy shit that she says. And I was like, same.
She's on her best behavior.
I am. I'm trying to compose myself.
Your kids probably told you, huh?
They were like, Mom. I think it was my daughter. You're going to get banned.
Yeah.
You're going to get
She's always the one that's scaring you and putting you on notice. That was my first thought. I'm like, her daughter was probably like, Mom, you better watch your mouth. You better be on your best behavior.
So you can't do that. You're going to get banned so quickly. I'm like, well.
Okay,
you can't ban me for being me.
No. So so you said there's the midwife, there's the herbalist, there's the person that works on with the spirits, and then there's the mentalist. I feel like I would be a mentalist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the curandera is like the white witch. That's the way we like to say it, because I guess some people ask, well, what's the difference between a bruja and a curandera?
Oh.
Okay. And brujas, not all brujas, okay, but brujas, which is tend to be known or stereotyped for using black magic.
Yeah.
And I use the word stereotype very strongly. Okay. So the curandera is like the white witch. She uses, source, and she uses things that are given. We're very connected. In order for us to work, which is really crazy, we need to be really connected to nature, ourselves, like the way we are feeling, the way we are processing things is very important, because we hold so much space for other people. And also, what we're living through at that moment is also very important, because it affects everybody around us. So we like to be called. I like to think of us as the white witches.
So like a bruja would be like the Wicked Witch of the West, and then the curandera would be like Glinda, like the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Just to be clear, the Wicked Witch of the West was misunderstood. She was actually Elphaba, was very smart. Okay,
what was
very
her name?
Powerful, Elphaba, and she was very hated because of her powers. She was made to look like she was a bad witch, but she was not. She was a good witch.
Interesting.
It's a good story.
Okay.
I don't believe in bad witches. I don't. I believe that everybody has a gift, and it depends on how we're taught to use it. As also, there's a lot of things or religions or practices that are really misunderstood. What we've heard and what we've known to be is just the surface, but once you really get to talk to people about them, you're like, it's nothing like what I thought it was. Nothing at all.
So how did you get into the work? How did you become all powerful you?
Well, thank you. I have been blessed to practice all 4 practices. I wasn't a midwife or partera, but I was a doula for many years, where I would focus on the woman when she was going through birth and preparing her beforehand, preparing her husband, creating the space for them, and then afterwards when the baby comes, because you want to have a beautiful space for that child from before the birth.
Yep.
Okay.
So you'll be mine.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. My hair girl just told me this week, when you get pregnant, you need to use a doula. And I was like, okay, well,
let me find one.
Well, I found one. So,
yeah.
It's hilarious because I've had friends that I've offered, hey, I'd be more than happy to be your doula. And one of them had 4 kids, and this was her last child. And she was, where the fuck were you the rest of the 3? I'm all like, I never thought about it. I've been so hush hush. And so I've been that. And everybody knows me as the body worker, the massage therapist, which is actually one of my strongest and how I started. And it's, when you walk in to see me, I can read your body. I get asked, how do you know what you're working with? And I tell people I have a GPS. I put your name in, and it tells me exactly where to go. But by looking at the body, you can tell exactly what emotions the person is dealing with, what they're going through, what they don't want to let go of. And you can see that when you're working on the person. The herbalist, I'm a homeopathic. So before COVID, I started my path through homeopathy, and I do use a lot of herbs and teas to do that. And the mentalist, previously I was a counselor. I was a sexual health educator for Planned Parenthood, and I carried that with me. And because a lot of what the curandera does is, the biggest way she heals is the palabra, talking to the person, validating and pulling out that they have inside that they can't say, so that you can go ahead and work it out and get it out of their system. So I've been very blessed to do all 4 of them. And
did you speak to the spirits yet?
Well, I've always had little voices in my head.
Yeah.
I've always had little voices in my head. That's been kind of scary growing up because you're like, oh, this isn't normal, especially growing up Catholic. I'm Catholic. You hear that a lot of this is bad until, you make the connection that it's not, it's just Creator telling you, your ancestors, and they're not messages for me, they're messages for the people that I'm working with. So, so that I probably have been connecting with spirit since, I want to say 25 years ago, maybe going on 30. Yeah, maybe even longer.
Because you're primarily clairaudient. You hear. Yeah. And FYI for our spiritual girlies out there, our spiritual Barbies and spiritual Kens, clairaudience is the most efficient clair. And it's also one of the most accurate because you're not interpreting what you're receiving. You're actually literally hearing it. Nikki is.
Yeah. That's cool.
But I'm pretty sure you are, Nicole. both Nikki Nova and you.
No, I don't think so.
And Nikki was the one that literally pulled it out of me. Because for me, I wasn't worthy of being a curandera. I'm like, no, I can't be a curandera. I can't do what these people do. And she's the one that actually made me see that the journey that I walked, how long I've been doing it for, and how I've already lived all the 4 facets. I've had beautiful people that have taught me, beautiful people who, even now, that are still teaching me on a regular basis. And it's amazing because I've been practicing it for so long, and it's been such a part of my life.
What about the mental one? Sorry, Nicole.
Oh, she talked about it, I think.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
The mental one, as you well know, Gabby, when my clients come in to see me for body work, they don't just get body work. They get a whole, mental counseling. We process, talk about. I basically tell them, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go ahead and release it. And I have a lot of people that do. Okay. So, and I did the counseling, and now I've learned. I went through the mental health intuitive class that completely taught us how to, connect with mental health problems to help people process them through, which is actually, I just feel that I'm so well rounded with it. That program was.
Can we talk about, and Yvette probably wouldn't bring it up because she's too humble and modest, but when we went to that ceremony, that big event, that was like a very big deal for you, right, Yvette? It was your kind of stepping into your boss bitch energy, and it was beautiful. I still quite don't understand like what it was all about. I was still trying to learn a lot about it, but it was the energy. It was just so beautiful. There was so much going on. I loved it.
The ceremony that you're talking about is a ceremony we do every year with the church. And that day, exactly. It's funny that you say that because people came up to me and you look so boss. Those are the exact words, boss bitch out there. And it was so funny because there's so much history behind that ceremony, a lot of turmoil for my kids and I, because my kids and I, with the support of the elders in Mexico and Querétaro, and my compadre Martin did this, and it was really a healing experience. And for me, it was not about being boss bitch; it was about being protective of my children. It's like, no, nothing's gonna happen here. And when I'm a firekeeper, I'm a salmera in danza, and when you do that, you hold the space and you kind of control the energy for everybody that's there. That everybody's in a good space, that everything's in harmony, that everything's going well. So there's a lot of responsibility in that, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. A lot of healing going on, a lot of great energy. And that was such a beautiful ceremony. Everybody was just so happy to be there, so much love. But for me, it was very much taking back my power. Not only protecting my kids, because there was so much trauma behind us doing this ceremony that it was, for me, it was very much letting go of that trauma, protecting my kids, and owning myself, not giving that power anymore.
I think something that I really appreciate about your ceremonies in danza and you being a firekeeper is that people may not recognize that you are quite literally moving that energy through your body as you hold space for not just the people like within like doing the dances and dancing, it's like everyone there. So that's literally like processing all that information. And the coolest part too is that she would do limpias with her. Oh my gosh, what is the name of your
my
really
salmador.
Beautiful piece?
My salmador, my copalero.
Your copalero, yeah, that's right. And sorry, I forgot the word. And I just remember that being a really cool part of how you do your limpias for anyone that really asks for them if you have the time to do it during your ceremonies. Can you speak to that a little bit?
And actually, that's the way it was traditionally done. And it is traditionally done. Like in Mexico, they still do it with the salmador and the copalero. Now, we could still do it that way. It's very much the proper way of doing it. But we can do it at a distance in quantum. So, the person probably won't be holding a copalero. When you connect with your copalero, you are actually just channeling the energy from Creator, connecting, and you're just an instrument, to help those people out. So when we open up, it really is about us connecting to Creator, creating the space, just the way we did before we started, bubbling up, asking our ancestors to come in, to guide us, protect us, and that's where we stay. Salmeras, we need to stay in prayer during the whole ceremony. That is what our job is to do, and hold the space and cleanse the energy for. And it is for whoever that ask us. I don't like to do it when I'm in ceremony. I like to keep it as for the people that are part of the ceremony, because then it becomes a whole other thing. Everybody wants to come and get a limpia, and we can't be in two places at once. Mm-hmm.
So, Nicole, did you have a question before I proceed?
Well, I wanted to add two things. One, I wanted to add, we just need to make the connection the connection to Elizabeth.
Yes.
Because I have talked before when Elizabeth first came on and how we met during Soul Reading Method. And I don't remember how. I think I told Gabby, oh, hey, like I made my first friend. And then somehow we figured out that you were working with Elizabeth and you were mentoring her, and Gabby was basically mentoring me. And it was so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, like how did that happen? How did we all get connected? So the day that we went to that ceremony, that was the day that we met Elizabeth, because she drove all the way out for that, because it was a very big deal. And so anyways, I just wanted to make that connection. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, girl.
And make sure that we acknowledged her.
Linda. Yeah, it was, to me, it was a blessing for you ladies to be there, because like I said, it was me taking back my power, and it was such an emotional and scary moment for me in the community, because I felt things were getting out of hand, and we always just kept our mouth quiet. We never really, so it was just me being not wanting it to get to what the ceremony was meant to be. But yes, I'm actually Elizabeth's mentor, and I taught her how to be a curandera. So the process,
that was one of the questions.
Which is really amazing. It was amazing because I learned through experience and walking the road and doing the work with teachers, right? But it was really an amazing thing to be able to do it, even though she was in a completely different space than I was. And that was something that was really hard for me to accept at first, because the way I learned that you had to do through life experiences, right? But it was so amazing because her and I were so connected the whole time that she was going through her process. It was such an amazing connection. And the reality is that not everybody can get up and travel and do the walks that you have to do, or meet somebody, that's going to come into your life to teach you this. I mean, I've been blessed to do so, but now, like the people that I work with, that they're amazing teachers. And one of them is in Mexico, and we just talk on the phone, and she tells me what to do, and she processes with me. And so, and it's on via the phone. And one time I told her, like, I never thought this would be possible. She's like, but why not? She's like, it's about handing down the lesson. Handing down the lesson.
And I just want to point out before Gabby gets to her question that how connected this work is to the church, right? Because a lot of times there are so many thoughts about people that are spiritual and people that do different work, and it's devil's work, right? And well, here you are doing this beautiful work that is literally connected to the church. I mean, that is a Catholic church in town. It's a huge part of that community. And you were there doing the work with the church. So how, just how that connection is there when maybe people think, no, this is bad. This is dark. This is evil. Well, the church said we could be here. So.
And actually, as a curandera, not as a saumera, but as a curandera, you're very religious. Prayer is a big part of the healing. Like, we are praying for our client that comes in, and we're in prayer for them, focusing to help them go through the process. I like to tell people, I don't heal you. I'll hold your hand and walk with you through the healing. But in reality, we can't completely heal them unless they want to be healed. And that's one of the things that is different from a curandera, is that Not only when they come in, let's say I have a client that comes in and they're complaining that they're really, really sick all the time. They just have horrible stomach aches. They just can't get past it. And there's certain things. So the curandera looks at the person as a whole. So what is your living environment? What is your living practices? And then, you look at their body to see how are they holding themselves and what does the body tell you? And then you start talking to them and then they start letting you know, oh, well, this, and that. So then you find out it might be fear. They're just very, very, very afraid. A lot of times the majority is anger that is just really wanting to come out and they want to, speak it and release it and they can't. They don't have that freedom. So while they're going through their process, curanderas always, that's why we hold we have a lot of candles,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's intentions for the people that we're working on. And I mean, Gabby, you've seen my altar, and and I always hold my altar there. That's where I connect with my ancestors. I connect with my guides, and maybe it could be for a client. A lot of times, it's just give me the ability to be able to be the vessel to be able to help whoever it is I'm have to help that day.
I always learn so much from you, and I have so many questions, but I'm going to start with, and you've touched on this a little bit, but what exactly is curanderismo and how is that different from shamanism as maybe we traditionally know it?
Ooh.
And then how does one become a curandera aside from the spoken palabra that is passed on to us? Because it sounds like it's very hands-on. It sounds like it's very, but also word of mouth from someone you're learning directly from. But I feel like that's going to change a little bit, especially in the way that you're going about your work. So maybe we can lean into those areas.
Traditionally, the curandera is born with the don, with the ability to.
Oh gosh,
okay?
Yeah.
You're born with the ability to.
I haven't thought about that.
Let me tell you that my mom is very upra religious. My family, we're Catholic and my mom's always raised us in the religion. My dad is more spiritual. And more, my dad is very much more spiritual and energy and yoga. It was hilarious at my house because my mom and my dad were always like clashing. So I got the best of both worlds, right? I'm a church brat. I was raised at Our Lady of Guadalupe. We used to clean the church. My mom was a catechism teacher.
Does she know my grandma?
She probably did.
Probably, yes.
Mm-hmm.
A curandera, you're supposed to be born with the don, with the gift of. And then from there, normally you'd start being an apprentice to somebody that was a curandera. And if she saw that you had the don, she would help you evolve it. And she would teach you, okay? By you watching them and by talking. That's how you would do it. And so that's how you become a curandera. And that's exactly how it was for me. Well, for me, it was kind of really funny because I was a sexual health educator and I had a counseling done and I had wanted to break the ice and I asked her if she was going to nursing school. She gave me her card. She said she was a massage therapist. A year later, ladies, I was in so much pain. I called her. I completely loved her massage. I asked her, where did you go to school? Yada, yada, yada. On my drive home, I stopped at the school and I signed up. I got home and I told my husband, I'm going to massage school. But while I was going through massage school, for me, I had a horrible ectopic pregnancy that was very traumatic. And the director of the school sent me to a teacher there that practiced craniosacral, right? And she was able to release all that. I mean, I was on the table and I was crying because my husband and I had been trying to get pregnant for so many years and now I had lost the fallopian tube. And so, but I had to hold it together because Mario didn't know, my son didn't know I was pregnant and my husband needed to know I was okay. So I kind of overlapped, forgot about the morning part and made myself strong. And so when I went to craniosacral, I was able to feel it. And that was my first experience getting an energetic healing. Okay. To my, knowledge that I was aware of it. But even before that, there was a time where I got really, really sick, really, really sick. And, I was in a hospital. They told my family I was a goner. They brought the whole family into the waiting room, because I was saying my goodbyes. And my aunt, my madrina, my godmother from Mexico, she says, you're going to get better. But before you're going to go to the airport and you're going to get on a plane and you're going to come here. And I was like, okay. I'm like, shit, I could barely walk, right? And she thought, mija, you tienes que venirte. And I was over there and she took me to a healer. And that was my first experience with an actual curandero. And, and ironically, we tend not to believe in these things, but, I was cursed.
Yeah.
Somebody me había hechizado. Alguien me había hechizado. And it was a very, very close friend of mine that broke my heart. And when I found out, but that was my first work with energy work. And that from there, it just started evolving to more and more and more. And I started working with these people and the information kept coming to me. Like teachers kept coming to me and I kept learning and, working with the candles, with the prayer preparation. But the massage therapy was really an eye opener for me. Nikki, you like crazy stories.
Why do you say that,
Let
Yvette?
me share. I know. Oh no, but you just seem like that type.
I'm crazy.
My first experience doing body work and connecting with somebody's energy scared the crap out of me. I was working on this person, this lady, and I could physically feel her fear and screaming. And I was like, and pain and scare, and she was in panic. And then she started like having a release, an emotional release, which massage can have you do. And I told her, it's okay. What's going on? And she's like, nothing. And I go, do you want me to continue working? At this point, I don't want to work anymore because I was having nightmares and I watch a lot of horror movies, but I didn't, I was like, and I go, your body is really scared. I told her, it's really, really scared. I'm getting a lot of visions of you tied up and you wanting to get out. And then she sat up and she like covered herself with the sheet and she's like, how do you know that? And I don't know. I go, I don't know. And I'm working on you. Your body's telling me that you need to let go of this, that you're okay. You're safe. She was the last victim of a rapist, serial rapist here in Ventura County who had killed 3 women and she was tied up and she managed to escape. Okay. Wow. And she was the one that got him prosecuted.
There's your crazy story, Nicole.
Mm-hmm. But I actually I was feeling everything and it was just a horrible, it scared the shit out of me. Like I was really like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I mean, I don't ever want to face anything like that. But back then I didn't know about shielding myself, grounding myself and keeping my energy to myself. Right. But, so it was an honor to work on this woman who had been through this process. And because of her, they found a girl's body and, that he was prosecuted, put in jail. And she was able to start in her healing journey. Like she hadn't been able to really talk about it, how she felt because she didn't want to scare anybody. And so besides when she went to trial.
So what would be the difference between like a typical, I don't want to call them typical, but like the energy healings that we learned in soul reading method and the type of energy healing that you would give to somebody as a curandera, and like just kind of, I guess, trying to figure out why would someone want an energy healing from someone like you, this type of work, versus going to someone from soul reading who learned different kinds of energy healings?
What a curandera does is we work in 3. We work in the physical aspect, the emotional aspect, and the spiritual aspect. So we don't see you as one or the other. A lot of times when you go to a reading, they connect with your spiritual, what they see, right? We connect with the physical as well. Like, why is it that you're having these physical symptoms or this illness is manifesting in your body? What is the emotional cyst that's causing for these symptoms to present themselves? So we also work in the physical aspect. We work in, let's say a lot of people can't make a decision, or they keep they keep, they keep, picking the same guy or justifying why they can't get, past and meet their person. And so it's like, okay, what is it in you that you keep attracting the same type of person? And why do you feel that you have to stay in the situation? And we work as to what is it in their life, memory, trauma, or emotional, emotional that cyst that they have inside that's causing them. And now it's manifesting physically.
So, and how many sessions is that being done in?
We normally start with one. When we have one session, first I need to know what they're coming in for. What do they need help with? And then I go ahead and I connect with them, and I go ahead and see what it is. Because a lot of times we think we know what it is that's happening to us, but it's nothing. It's not what we think it is. There's something deeper, or their body's telling me something else. So I'll connect to their body. I'll see what their body's telling me. Sometimes we'll see a memory that'll pop up for them. And then from there, we'll go ahead and I'll give them a limpia, a spiritual limpia. I do a lot of distant spiritual limpias, which is very amazing because I never thought I would be able to do that. And to be able to give someone a spiritual limpia, at a distance, you could do that as well. And sometimes they need that because they need to let go of things. And then we go ahead, I tell them, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I saw. You give them things that they should do or not do. Maybe drink a tea. You need to get out and walk a little more. You need to write down your emotions, and you really need to release this anger. You need to release the person. Whatever it is that I hear that they need to do, I'll tell them. If they want to go deeper into that and really get rid of it, because it's so long, then we go ahead and do a couple of more sessions.
I didn't realize just all of the things that you've done and do as a curandera, and it's making so much more sense to me now why you did the intuitive mental health and just how much it's going to add to your toolkit. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes so much sense for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, connecting the dots.
I love that program because there's so many. Now I have the ability to help people with their mental health. Like, okay, this anxiety is coming from here. This is what you can do. This is how I can help you. But going in deeper to actually get rid of it is pretty amazing. Right. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty powerful. So I really love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's very flattering. It's very humbling when you have people come and tell you that, thank you. It's gone. Thank you. And Gabby can attest to this. It'll be like, it wasn't me. Are you sure it wasn't me? And, like Gabby, I love the reassurance, because I forget, and I don't like to say, oh, I'm psychic. But, it's like, I don't know why. To me, I guess psychics, it just rings differently in my head, mm-hmm. right? Yeah. And so it's funny because it's like, I have a pretty good score about being correct. So yeah, I'm pretty proud about that.
I'm just so fascinated by your world within this world because there's so much. Like, every time she's like saying this, that, like, you want to do this with your candle. You want to make sure you're, the rituals that she has under her belt and the awareness of, I'm like, I would have never thought to do that. And that is what I'm like so curious about. Like, that's what's been passed on down to you, right? Through your elders, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So Elizabeth, shout out girl, is going to light her fire, right, soon with her cupalero. Yes. So what would one expect if they were to learn from you as, technically an elder yourself, once you've trained others, which you have?
You don't look like an elder though.
No, you don't. She's really hot,
Thank
guys.
you.
She's got that Libra
Thank you.
energy going for her.
Well, Nikki doesn't see it. But anyway,
No, it's like fire energy. It's like Sag, like I don't know.
Her whole, by the way, her whole family's major fire energy, just so everyone knows. It's really cool.
Yes. Yes, and my 3 kids are very gifted, and my granddaughters, like they're all very gifted. You know, and each of them has their own little gift, and I really try to teach them in the spiritual way and to honor it, and to, when they're ready, to go ahead and practice it, because for me it was something so scary to come to.
Yeah.
As for, to answer your question, for the mentoring program for curanderas, it really is first, learning what makes you a curandera. Like, first of all, learning to protect yourself. That's the first thing. Learning to protect yourself, and also how to keep your power stable, your energy stable, because you're going to be working with people. Then we go ahead and work with, if you get a client that has these symptoms and presents themselves like this, these are the many ways you can help the person. So I do help them with herbology, what herb represents each organ in the body, each trauma, which is connected to. But it's also very important as a curandera to also teach them that it's not just about having the plant and doing it. You have to connect to that plant. That plant has to be a part of you, and you have to be a part of it. So it's not just about like, oh, I'm going to grab myself some lavender. It's about you growing the lavender, and you connect, because not all herbs are for you. So which one is your medicine? Which ones are your medicines? That's it. Like, what is your medicine? And so first of all, I want to ask, why do you feel you're a curandera? Why? And then bringing that out of them. Not me telling them you're a curandera, but kind of reinforcing and strengthening their gift. That's what it is.
What if they don't necessarily identify with it yet because they feel like maybe they're not worthy of it, but like it needs to be taken right, like almost like initiation. Like, I know that I have these things in my lineage, and I know that these things were passed down to me, and I know that I'm capable of it. I don't think that I'm there yet, but I need the right mentor and the right guidance so that I can be. Because I almost think that you would get somebody who's maybe like, well, I don't think I am, but I think I can be. I'm going to use like Maria, for example, right? Where it's like, I don't want to do it, but I know I have to. And I don't identify with it yet, but, like everyone's kind of telling me, or, I can't escape it anymore. So how would you work with somebody who's maybe not feeling quite worthy and confident in it yet? Because if you ask them that, they're going to say, well, I'm not.
Yeah.
Our Elizabeth is a great example. Actually, she was told by Nikki Novo she was a curandera. She had no idea, and you need to work with Yvette, and she connected her to me. And that's how we started, and that's where the plática comes in. Okay, how have you worked? Have you had any connections? Have you had any premonitions? And that's where I come in, and I can go ahead and connect with their ancestors, connect with her soul, and see what it is that wants to come out, that she has suppressed and she wants to work with, and then we go from there. And if she feels comfortable, we start bringing it out that way. But that's why the terapia de plática is so important. And starting as a curandera, like I said, the first part is learning how to protect yourself, ground, and stay centered and stay in your power. So when that starts happening, as we all know, energy starts moving and things start showing up and presenting themselves. And that's what and then, some women cannot be midwives. Some women cannot be, I think every curandera has a little bit of an herbalist, because we're so connected to plants. but some of them will be spiritualist and some of them and I think that I don't like to think of them as separate because everything is just becomes one. You end up using all of it, so.
I think people might be surprised. I mean, all of this work really requires like body work in some capacity and you using your body as a divination tool to read energy. But I feel like curanderismo takes it to another level because your body is straight up just being used 99.9% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Used and abused.
Well, you had asked me before about the difference between a shaman and a curandera. The shaman actually draws the energy through you, through themselves to get the medicine to you. Okay. And you've heard of the ceremonies that I've done where I've done that for people. And I have a really hard time calling myself a shaman because I don't feel that I'm worthy of that, But the difference with curanderismo, it's more like we pray on it, we listen to you, and we get it right there. And I can work with you talking to you like this. A shaman is more ceremonial and is more, I think, working with the medicines. And they actually do channel and push the energies through them, whatever needs to come in for you.
Yeah, I almost in my mind, because I don't think I have another word for it, but what comes to mind is like almost like an exorcism.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong? I don't know. Tell me of it. I don't know.
We don't call them exorcism, we call them emotional releases. And just recently we were working, I was working with someone and she was having chakra alignment, and we didn't know this was in her system until she started releasing and telling her, okay, I'm here for you if you want to. If not, I'm holding space. Feel free to release. It's time. And a lot of times we're so afraid to feel our emotions. We're afraid to feel angry. We're very afraid to feel sad. We're very afraid to feel hurt. And I go ahead. And she just needed to belch it out. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Yell, scream. You don't have to say anything. Just go ahead and roar. And she started with a little, oh. I go, okay. And then later, I swear it was so strong. It was just coming out of everywhere. And it was such a exhausting release for her. And it was anger because, she was having problems in her marriage that she needed to let go of. And when you lose that identity, you lose your identity of self, what you thought you were going to be and what is it that you're going to become. And not only that, you failed, and how are people going to see you? So not only is it the love, the anger, the self-worth, all of that needed to come out. So it's what we call an exorcism, basically, because it's such a powerful release.
I think I need one of those.
Of what?
My life? My life? Geez, my childhood, my 20s? Fuck, my infertility, fucking pick something. Jeez.
I don't
have issues.
Another thing that I've actually learned about this too, and I learned this through you, and I was like, that makes so much sense, that women who do this work, they don't work or do energy work during their periods when they're on their moon cycle, which I thought was fascinating. So can you speak a little bit to that? There's almost like an honoring of like how powerful the divine feminine is, especially as she bleeds. Yeah, I'm fascinated by that with respect to curanderismo.
Yes, women don't work. It's, don't work during their moon, during their period, because it's when you're actually releasing. And a lot of times, even though we cleanse, even though we go ahead and make sure to do whatever it is or protect ourselves and bubble, there's always something that attaches or lingers. And so when we moon is when we literally purge all of that, and it's actually said that when we are mooning, we are at our strongest. So we kind of just take care of ourselves, not only to recover, protect ourselves, let the purging happen, but also because, we don't want to end up, directing our energy in a way we don't want to, because, we're in our moon. So yeah, a lot of women traditionally do not work during their moon.
Yvette, are you doing offerings already, or like are people booking with you, or how are you finding people? Just when they're coming in to do massages and body work, or
people just find me?
Okay.
Really, Nikki, people just find me.
But we'll put your links in the show notes, though, in case people want to book with you.
So I'm kind of wondering, like, is there a link? Like, I really, because I know it's been kind of talked about, but I don't know how much is being done. And I want an exorcism, so...
well, it was funny because traditionally a limpia is done with the herbs and the flowers and with the copalero, the smoke, and brushing you off with the herbs that we're using, and the curandera praying, so that's what a limpia was, but it goes deeper than that. Most people like to say, I need a limpia. And yes, we can go ahead and cleanse your aura, but the problems are more in depth. What is causing you? Because even though we clean your energy, guess what? If you have something in you that is causing for you to attract that, we have to get to the ground as why are you attracting it? What is that in you that is attracting that to happen? And why does it keep happening to you? So yes, a limpia takes away the energetics, but it's not just about, that's not going to miraculously make everything go away. And as to your question, my baby's called Tapashtiani. Tapashtiani is my business. So they can actually go on my website. They can go to my very inactive Instagram.
I don't think I ever see you on Instagram. Okay.
Oh.
Wow. And I feel like I learned so much, because I think I wasn't quite sure what it meant to be a curandera. And I think in my mind, it almost reminded me of maybe more, like, I knew the part about the herbs. I think in my mind, I thought it was just more maybe like herbal magic, herbal witch. I don't know. Isn't there like an herbal witch? Yeah, right? I feel like, so I think I just kind of thought it was that. I didn't realize all the other things. I'm so fascinated by it. And I'm so glad to know you. And can we also say that not only does Yvette do all this work, she made us the best gift boxes.
Oh my gosh, right?
And I wanted her to start selling them. Oh my gosh. They had candles and special soap that I use. I mean, I'm like, oh, it's a green soap kind of day. And right? My green soap, and it's like, okay, and then I feel better. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm having an emotional release. I just feel it all kind of like coming out when I'm green soaping. And just the cutest little boxes that would be like the perfect gift set, and I think she should sell those too.
Yeah, those were made specially for you guys, and I think it was for Christmas, right? So I actually make the candle and I intend it. So that's part of it as well. Like if I have a client and the client needs something that they really need to pray on, okay, this is the candle. I charge the candle. I program the candle so that they can go ahead and pray with it as well and do it, and be part of it, like their own little ceremony. And the soaps, the green soap, I love that green soap kind of day. That was just when you just feel like you need to recharge yourself, call your energy back into yourself, empower it. And the purple soap, it was the one where we just felt we were carrying crap that was not ours, like to do a limpia. And I think it was because I did those boxes specifically because of what was going to happen, like New Year's, to cleanse, to clean. And if you guys feel that, that you're carrying something, being, just use the black soap and that'll help you. So the red soap or purple, I don't remember what it was.
No, I think it was green soap was to get all the bad off, and then like the purple soap was like to give you the extra energy for the day. So maybe I'm using it backwards. I don't know. But the green soap makes me cry.
The green was the energy and recharge. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the purple was for if you have bad stuff or you just had a really bad day and need to recharge, you go ahead and use the other one.
Got it.
But yeah, those are in the works. Those are in the works. And I know that the girls also want me to do my personal little rituals because sometimes I actually do rituals. I've had people who have called me from out of state and, you know, it's their loved one's death anniversary. They haven't really let go. So I'll prepare a little ritual. I'll mail it to them and tell them how to do it so that they can do it themselves. And of course, when I'm preparing it, you know, I'm charging it, I'm praying on it and letting them know that, you know, how to do it. And that's what I do. Or maybe a relationship that they're going to get married and they want to do a little ritual before to empower their relationship. I send those out too. So it depends on what their needs are. And I love doing those because you put so much love and then you hear back, you know, how the people feel afterwards and they're fun. And it's actually using my creativity. So I love it.
They were so cute.
Thank you. Love it. We learned, we're not even scratching the surface here, you guys. Like, I'm serious. Like, there was so much more to this, but I loved every second. And we will include Tapashtiani's Instagram link and her booking link in the show notes for you guys. Nicole, do you have anything to add before our dear friend pulls a card?
No, just thank you for coming. And like I said, you were a bit of a flight risk for us, so we couldn't let you get away.
Yes, I know. Literally, like Gabby almost came and said, "All right, you're gonna sit your ass there and you're gonna sit in front of camera." No.
No, you did great. People are really gonna love this one. I feel it.
Well, you know, it's a blessing, and thank you, because I am a curandera in the closet, and it's taken a long time for me to be able to say that that's what I do, you know. And when I have clients and I have to run out of the office because I have a client, it's very empowering, but at the same time, it's like people have come up to me. I don't know what you do, but I know that you can do it, and I know that you can help me. So help me. And it's just been okay. You know what I do, so but I haven't really came out. So I'm embracing it. I love it. I got my butt whooped by my ancestors to do or die, basically, and so physically, like I was. Literally CPR, IV, you're doing this. And I'm glad because I've been doing it for a long time. It's very important to me. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah. What card deck are you pulling from, friend?
I am from the Healing with the Angels Oracle cards.
Can we see in the screen, por favor? So we'll put that in the show notes too in case anyone's interested in that. Oh, pretty. Doreen Virtue. That's Nicole's. Well, not Nicole's girl. She doesn't claim the work anymore. So
she doesn't claim the work. She thinks we're going to hell, you know. Yeah. But her teachings were very beautiful when she did the teachings.
Gorgeous.
Yes, very, very. And that was one of the things that she was the first one because it's like I'm connecting with angels. It's like. I'm not worthy of that. How the heck that's happening to me, right? And through her, I was able to be like, oh, you know. So she was an amazing teacher when she was a teacher. And I don't know what happened, but now I guess we're all going to hell in a handbasket. Okay, so the card that I pulled was Harmony.
Oh.
How funny, huh?
That's pretty.
Interesting. That is very, very pretty. Let me see what it says. I'm going to read it because I don't know it by memory. Okay, this means to conflict is resolved. In a situation that was troubling you, know that you deserve this peace and happiness and accept it graciously. You think, ladies?
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I accept it. I'm ready for some harmony.
No kidding. I think we do live in harmony. Don't you think so, ladies? It's like I think part of our work is living in harmony because we have to live in harmony in order to to continue the work. Like today when I got home, I went to the gardener and I go, okay, you know what? I'm going to plant my rosemary, and I'm going to plant my ruda, and I'm going to plant this. I just want to make sure no one's going to pull them out. And he was so good about telling me where to plant them where they won't get. And I go, well, I want them right there. And he's all like, oh, okay, as long as we can prune around them. And, you know, that's the way of living in harmony, like with the gardener, so that he takes care of my plants, you know? So there's harmony in everything that we do, I believe, you know? Yeah. Whether some people want it or not.
Well, thank you again, Yvette. And I think I'm going to come see you for an exorcism.
And
anytime, you know,
when it's time for her to be your doula.
Oh yeah, and doula services. Thanks.
I am so excited.
You're going to get very familiar with my body.
It's all right. It's all right.
She's seen me naked very many times. So all good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
all right,
I was
guys.
just gonna say, literally, she'll just come and be like,
"No, yeah, she has no shame.
Say?
No shame.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. My little boy's here.
Okie dokie.
We're gonna put everything in the show notes, and thanks again.
Thank you, ladies. Las quiero mucho.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.